speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me do what set me if it could flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. I fi take away me say. I fi take away me say. I fi utilize I weeds. Shorty I cleave her.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is May the 4th, and today we have a new feature, Indigenous Outlook. Season 2 begins today as well. And you know, Season 2, them say, it's touchy, baby. I got Max Wanet here with me this morning as well.
Grand Rising, everyone.
And we're linking up with Flavius in a few minutes. But in the meantime, keep it locked, don't go nowhere, because the music you're hearing in the background is none other than Tafina. And we're going to get Flavius, and we'll be right back. Sit and stay, don't go nowhere.
Through the door, take away ourselves.
Shuluhali Wadani, our time has come. Shuluhali Wadani, our time has come.
Woman, sit upon the throne of glory. About Tarragon, tell you a true story. That'll make the mythical knights and diamond silver.
Wishing you was filled with happiness.
What a mercy, yeah.
With love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah. And every vessels warm like a tree seed.
What a monster!
And the rivers of love you will plant, yeah. Your courage will make me taste to surrender. Thank you, Lord, you're especially sent, yeah. Wish you the best and filled with happiness. From sir with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs,
Yo,
yeah.
the woman forget to pamper. She forget the woman. No watch no step, she delicate woman. Forget tights and respect one. Mother, sister, don't let me tell you vital part of me biology. If she never open and let them baby would be. We should all have proud city now me history. To the children know that could never be who you think nurture pamper and care for me. To the long arc series of maternity, none of the woman forget pamper. She forget the woman. Now watch those steps, she delicate a woman. Forget tight tight and respect one. Mother, sister, darling.
You're moving graciously, and loving you kiss me is so stress-free. Yeah. You are a source of strength, Miss Magnificent, positive thinker.
Woman of the master race.
Oh my Madonna, modern emancipation. So wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah.
Then when you are going with your girl chat, you mad? Couldn't be referring not to me, Princess Black. Well, if you now come out of the poopy back, that might cause negativity, you would hold it back. Cause there's no other like the female gender. No amount of sex change can replace your mother. You might tend to differ as you go older, but the breast was best and still is me brother. The woman forget pamper, she forget pet the woman. Now watch no step, she delicate a woman. Forget height and respect one. Mother, sister, darling. Could I never come disrespect my queen, you know? No, you better come clean. Silver, come bounce it so.
Wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. Before you can go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah. Wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. Before you can go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah.
Woman forget pamper, she forget better woman. After no step, she delicate a woman, you know. Forget heights and respect one. Mother, sister, than the woman. Yeah, the woman, you know. Need some respect, security for surety. More of that from you and me, you know. She a celebrity, the woman. Pamper, she forget to pet the woman. Watch those steps, she delicate the woman, you know. Forget tights and respect one. Me mother, sister, than the woman.
Woman, that song is titled From Sir With Love, from the man himself, Tsunami, MIC up there in Boston, Massachusetts. Big ups going out to Tsunami. Max 18, how you doing this morning?
Yeah.
I think I
I'm
got
all right.
Flavius. You all right? Top of the
Okay.
morning.
I'm good.
Flavius, how you doing this morning? Flavius, how you doing? I'm not hearing from Flavius. All right, there he is.
There we go.
How is everything in your neck of the woods? Huh?
Doing well.
Yes.
I'm doing well.
Oh, you're doing well, okay. What's happening in your neck of the woods, Max?
I am doing well.
We're not hearing you too good.
I am fine. I am fine.
We have a latency with you this morning.
Yeah.
So,
Maxinet.
all right, Max, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Hi, Flavors. Everything is good. It's, sunny, the breeze, the nice little breeze. Weather is good. We have something going on May 6th, Zoombration. Haley Clacken and the Bipolar Foundation's 3rd anniversary. So they're putting on a performance. It's live music, dub poetry. You have Arnard, Brother Howard Hendricks, Asante, Rich Men, Richie Innocent, Wise Words. So it's on May 6th, Thursday, May 6th, from 8 to 10 p.m. Jamaica time. It's free, but donations are welcome. It's going to be on Zoom. Oh, yeah. Big thing. Turning tragedy into awareness. So that's beautiful.
Okay, big things are going. That's a poetry, right?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Another poetry production.
Yeah. Coach are doing it. They're making it happen.
That's good to know. And I think also the IRAM have been set back for later down in May as well.
Yeah.
So For those who are anticipating and waiting, you're gonna have to wait some more. You have to wait some more for your winners.
It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
It's squeezing. It's squeezing. It'll squeeze you. Anticipated. I'm anticipated for one of the winners, two person from the poetry category to even walk away with it. But then them said there's a hot runner out there, Took
Okay. Taku, brother Taku. Yeah.
Taku is promoting himself really good and really hard.
Oh yeah. The poets are really out there, and brother Taku's out there too, doing the thing. It's nice. Yeah. It's nice to see them. Yeah. Beautiful job.
So Flavius, what happening in your neck of the woods? What do you have that you can, enlighten people with?
Well, our COVID numbers have gone down dramatically from when it was 900 plus a day to a little over 100 a day now. So people are saying that the lockdowns have been working, although people are still having parties and the police are still locking them down. So that's about it. And of course, the crime is still raising its head. That has not gone anywhere. But those are the main things. The place is very quiet. People just going about their business, trying to survive.
How can we stop crime? How can we kill the crime? Yeah. Kill it, wipe it out.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we need to.
I think that's something that they're going to take a joint parliament. No one party can do it because they're both looking for credit, and it's not working.
No, it's bigger than the party. It has to do with the country, the people.
That's why it's going to take a joint parliament to have to really sit down and seriously say, you know what, this is not going to be a partisan thing. You understand me?
No. I personally think they're going about it the wrong way.
I think so too.
And what they are doing will never end. I know to solve the problem, I know. Yeah. Let me tell you. We don't have a crime problem in Jamaica.
Okay.
Okay.
How can you say that? We have a criminal problem in Jamaica.
Okay.
So let's say you have 100 criminals now. What is required is to prevent the transition of the youths who are good youths going to school, going to church, the transition into criminals. If you can find a way, then the criminals will have their numbers won't increase. Only they will decrease as soon as you apprehend one is one less. And there, right now, if you do that, when you apprehend one and one, you have one less.
Okay.
You have 3-4 more recruited.
Okay.
We have to get the country in a way where the youth, there's no transition from youth. So we have to look at the reasons why the youths are being transitioned into criminals. And the main reason is that they go to school, work hard, and they don't see themselves making any progress. And then they see the politicians and other people driving pretty car and living exorbitant lives. So that points to the corruption. If we get rid of corruption and reach a stage where the youths can say, I can go, I can do anything that I want. I can move from here to there, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
And the normal thing that I am doing. Because people are not understanding that the criminals, the professional criminals, are actively recruiting the youth. And you don't just get up and try to tell them
Okay.
they are being recruited.
Okay.
Either directly or by using these criminals as role models. A Dan control an area. And
Mhm.
Dan get sent to a woman, send your big data come.
What?
And they have to send them. Oh
I
yes.
lie. I lie.
No man. Fact alive.
No.
Fact alive.
Really?
Or they say, yeah, or they say you come to start with the mother and then after a while let me go to the daughter them or whatever. Fact alive.
You serious?
Yeah man. We have to give
Wow.
our
I'm
kids
shocked.
self-esteem. We have to make them know that you are bright enough to do anything you want. And the next thing again, the next thing again is that I was talking to somebody about recently. We have to find a way to break the cycle of the old thinking of to be successful in life. I mean, you need money and all that, but to get there from a school-based situation, you have to be a lawyer, doctor, accountant, nurse, police, You have to bring the other careers into focus, that people know that they're not doing anything. When you talk to, you're a poet, and you talk to the poets, and they tell you how hard it is to move ahead because people don't take musicians serious.
True.
They don't take athletes, And it's a lot of things that are very simple to fix. Jamaica, which is a powerhouse in sports, especially track and field,
Right.
don't have a sports minister. We have a minister. They have one minister in charge of culture, gender, something else, and sports.
Wow.
Culture itself is a huge thing that requires a dedicated person to be looking after that. People have to know that careers in culture, that they can earn a good living and be high up on the pedestal by doing that.
Right.
We need a dedicated sports minister. These things we just throw together and say, okay, you control that. So the person in charge cannot get to give a full account of each of these things that are so huge. Because culture is one of the biggest maker for the big enough time. Sports also. And know that sports is a huge business in the world. The biggest business in the world, the biggest business in the profession in the world is events. Events are the biggest thing, and we don't recognize events as a profession. I mean, everybody can do a party, everybody can do an event, we don't realize that these are massive professions that we must, show the kids that they can move into. And most of them have the talent, and they just need a little guidance, and they can create a lot of stuff. And these things bring in money. I mean, the Olympics or the football World Cup, because money that generates billions of dollars.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you come down to smaller events, and I mean, and that event and events, I mean, it takes into focus every kind of profession in the world. I mean, looking at that, boy, you have to be a policeman, you know. I mean, you can't, you're not doing so good, but you have a few subjects and you can pass the exam. You go join the police force, you know, or
Okay.
right enough, you can be a lawyer. And so we have millions of lawyers. I mean, and we're not looking into the productive side. What skills do these ordinary people have? What can they do?
Right.
It's very, very important, you know, that people understand that a carpenter is a very, very important person in any country.
Oh yeah.
And you can work anywhere in the world. But we grew up with the grammar school system that if you don't go a good grammar school and pass some exam, you're done. And you can't make it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
first time off for the girls, when the girls them fail the exams or whatever, them send them to secretarial school. And that is like you can't really, you know, bright enough, you can't really do nothing good. So try that.
Hey, Flavius.
Oh wow.
And you get a little training. And you know, and a secretary is a very important part of any organization.
They don't call them secretary no more. Administrative assistants.
I know.
Anyway, I wanna.
They want that guide the organization, you know.
Anyway, I wanna see if we can get Cynthia, and if we don't get her, then we can come back to your conversation. All right.
Okay.
So let's try see if we can get Cynthia.
Let me just speak just a line, a short thing on the subscription thing. And again, talk more to it. Okay. Why should you subscribe to our channel? And you subscribe to our channel, firstly, to show support for our channel, that you like it and you come on and you listen and you enjoy it. So you are showing us that you like it, and you know, by subscribing. And when you subscribe, it helps us. It helps us to improve what we are doing. Remember, YouTube is a free service offered by Google, and we have to work by their rules. And subscription is the one of the way they allow you to build. And you can get, after a while, you can get advertising, because companies who want to advertise will look at companies with. One moment, please. Let me come back to you, Franco.
That you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Really want you, baby. I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you to my home to be with me forever. I really love you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Really love you, baby. Really want you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, so special. Under your skin it will flow through your vein. My love's insane. This love I give, I just can't stop. I just can't stop. It's in your face, even when you turn your back. And just like a magnifying glass, the heat that I transmit you, baby. Really love you, want you forever, and ever. Really want you, baby. Really want you, baby. Whoa, whoa. Ooh, forever and ever. Yeah, yeah. I know you're wondering why my love is so strong. It's 'cause I see something in you pushing me on. The day you try to chase my love away is when you know my love was meant to stay. 'Cause this love I give, I just can't stop. It's in your face, oh yeah. When you turn your back, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home with me forever. Oh, really want you, baby. Really love you, baby. Want you forever. Ever. Really want you, baby. Really want you, baby. Love I will give you is so powerful, special. Under your skin it will flow through your veins. My love's insane. This love I give, I just can't stop. I just can't stop. It's in your face, even when you turn your back. Hey, it's just like a magnifying glass. Yeah, the heat that I transmit will melt your heart. Hey, I wish that you were the man in my life. I would like to take you home to be with me forever. Yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. The music of Miss Pam Hall want you forever. And we surely indeed want this lady forever. The one and only Cynthia Ellis, a.k.a. Queen Lubaf, who is here with us this morning. Top of the morning, Queen. Top of the morning.
Good morning, Franco. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning,
Grand
Pedro.
Rising. Grand Rising.
Yes. Grand rising.
Your laugh is contagious.
I'm enjoying life. That's why I'm laughing. There's a lot to laugh about.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the previous times that you graced us on the podcast, you were always in Belize, and today you're in the United States, and
Yes, I am in the United States of America. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah.
so close, so close to contact. So how has your trip been so far?
It has been awesome, Franco. I have been with some beautiful people, African Americans from Alabama. The circumstances of my visit was sad because a very powerful friend of mine transitioned, Dr. Billie Jean Young.
Okay.
Who did the one-woman show of the life of Fannie Lou Hamer. And she loved the Garifuna, she loved the Caribbean, she loved Belize. And so I came here to celebrate her life and spend time with her family, her community, and her people. And I had the chance to really get a sense of African American history in Montgomery. I just came from Montgomery and visited the Museum of the Enslaved People. They tell me to be politically correct, not to say slave, to say enslaved. So it's been a phenomenal experience, and I met with some ladies from
University of Alabama, and other pioneers of the African American community. And actually, I'm sitting on a porch right now, and we had what was called sisterhood, powerful sisterhood conversation with these women, and they asked me to bring in the international perspective, which I was very happy to share because they too have visited Belize and the Caribbean. So it's been a time of love and celebration for me, and really understanding a perspective that I ordinarily would not have been exposed to. You know, it's one thing to hear the story, it's another thing to live the story. So I expect more, you know, and nothing going to surprise me right now. Nothing. My heart is open, my mind is open, and I'm ready for whatever. So I think, you know, let me be careful what I say that.
Queen Labafa, you are something else, man. You're something else. I was going through the pictures that you sent, and one of the pictures that struck me is the one that you were walking barefooted on the lawn.
Oh, yes.
And,
yes, Franco. Mm-hmm. In the park. That was by the riverfront in Montgomery. And you know, they didn't have many signs or many descriptions of what was going on there, but I could feel in my bones, in my spirit, in my entire being that something powerful had taken place there. We didn't have any tour guide or anything, right? But in Garifuna people in Garifuna spirituality, something what you call Oweha means that I guess people in some of these churches would say you get slain in the spirit. But we don't, I can't describe except that I began to feel a connectivity with the spirit of the people. I didn't know any of the history or anything, right? It was afterwards when I went to the Museum of the Enslaved that I was able to realize why I had that experience. And so I had to take off my shoes and walk on the grass and get grounded and get connected with the experience, you know? And then the thing is that afterwards I wrote a poem when I went home. And everything that I wrote in that poem, all the words, all the language was what were some of the descriptions of what people here experienced. Millions and millions of people suffered in this country, in this part of the United States, lynching and torture and murder and all kinds of despicable crimes to African enslaved people. So when I saw the description, then I understood why my spirit connected with this without anybody telling me. Nobody was telling me what was going on. That's why I had taken off my shoes. The people grass, they said, "Don't walk on the grass." I had to ask a friend. She said, "No, you can walk."
I see. Who wants to go next? Flavius, Max Monet?
Well, I was I was brought up and told that I came from Maroons, my dad's side of Maroons. So I am very ignorant to that history because it was never available here in the US. So it is imperative to me to speak to you and others. What can you tell us about the Maroons? I'm all ears.
Oh yeah, well that's a good question. I sat with these sisters, and they were treating me like I am some goddess with a lot of reverence. Oh yeah. And I'm very, I won't say self-conscious, but I receive it on behalf of my ancestors because it's really not about me. I am just a vessel. And I told them when they said that to me, these are three sisters, one of them, and I said sisters, I mean sisterhood, you know. One of them, she runs a media network. I have to introduce you all to her. Her name is Tonya. Another one is Sister Denise. She went to Belize several times. And another sister, she goes around the world doing business with our people, with Africa. She goes to Africa and she wants to come to Belize. You notice I said come to Belize. I never left, you know, I'm here. Like I'm in another country, but I'm still in Belize. And my friend who I'm staying with here in Tallahassee, today is her birthday. She said, well, Belize has come to me, you know? So anyway, so what I said to these sisters is that as long as you have skin that is melanated and black, it's in your DNA. You know more than you know that you know, right? So it just has to be activated. And especially since I went to the Museum of the Enslaved, I realized, man, I have a lot of respect and love for the African people and all over the world, because you know more than you know that you know. And for example, when I went to the museum, it was just a matter of filling in the details, the script of what I, in my spirit, already knew. So, like, as a Garifuna, and our names just, according to the colonial masters, they package and they label us according to their names. However, we are one. We are one people. But in the case of the Garifuna, called Maroons, we have us in Jamaica, Suriname, Canada, anywhere in the world. But I can speak specifically to the Garifuna, which is that I shared with these ladies because they were asking me, when did I become aware? And I told them I became aware from, like, I guess from when I was born or before I was born, because your sense of knowingness has no age, you know. You just know what you don't know exactly what you know until time goes on. And sometimes my knowingness will come through my interaction with people, right? But anyway, I remember, like, my mother tells me, like, when I was born, I almost died. And, well, first of all, at my birth, there was my grandmother, my father, and different relatives. So in the life cycle of who we are, as Maroon, Garifuna, Taino, whatever the names that we are called, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, you have a sense and a body of knowledge in your spirit already that you can tap into over a period of time. Well, according to whichever version of the history of the colonizers, we were brought for enslavement from Africa, and we escaped, and we connected with the Caribs. They call them Indians at that time. That would have been in the 1600s, right? Remember when these people rampaged the Atlantic Ocean, just plundering and stealing and raping, all that kind of thing, right? So the Carib Indians combined with us, and they call us Black Carib. So the Black Caribs, we were resilient people, but we call ourselves Garifuna. Garifuna are the people who traded in gold, and our version of the story, which we are still unraveling, because we unravel it just like how I'm here in the United States. I'm beginning to unravel a lot of things that I did not know. I mean, I knew it instinctively in my gut and in my belly. But then when I begin to get more information, then I can put the pieces of the puzzle together. So what I said to my African American sisters is never, ever, ever speak from a place of what do you call it? Don't speak from a place of victim. That's what I said to them. Since I've come to this United States, I said, don't speak from a place of victim. Right. Speak from a place of triumph. And so I wrote a poem for them from triumphant tears over the years. So we're not going to step into this who did what to me and all of that. It is true that you're going to acknowledge the pain because it was traumatic. However, we're not going to stay in the pain. Understand? So the Garifuna people, we resisted enslavement. We resisted, and because it was difficult for the colonizers to suppress and oppress us, they committed genocide. But while I'm here in the United States and looking at different parts, I'm saying everybody experienced this genocide. However, the spirit of triumph and victory and overcoming is in all Black people. I mean, here I'm seeing how these people, they had the Underground Railroad, they had different ways of dealing with the situation. And it wasn't just Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. It was a whole lot of people who were able to use their own way to maneuver the oppression. So when I spoke with them, they said they never knew, the sisters, and I spoke at different churches here so far, they never knew that there were people who had not been enslaved. And that is what the Garifuna and the Maroons represent. People who dare to defy the oppression. And still we are here to tell the story. And we're going to tell the story differently. And I said to them, we didn't need the United Nations to declare the Garifuna people in 2001 as United Nations declared us a gift to humanity. But I say, it's not with a spirit of arrogance, but with a spirit of purpose that we are one people. We are one people. We have to connect with each other, including the white people, because they too would have had to have suffered to have behaved in that kind of way. I look at the museum and I say, can you imagine? They had this lynching of this man and thousands of white people came to the lynching and they were doing barbecue and having like it was a party. What manner of thing is that? And they sold postcards. And it was intentional. It's just so deep. And I see that in the Americas, this side of the country, but we are like for the world, we, the indigenous people, are for the world. Because once we tell the story and speak the truth and be the truth, change the conversation. As a Garifuna, I represent the Garifuna nation. I am part of a nation within nation states. So in Belize, for example, when my Garifuna brothers and sisters, we have a new government, right? And they were meeting with the Minister of Indigenous Affairs. I said to them, I'm not going to meet anyone lower than the Prime Minister because I am at that level as a nation. I am part of the leadership of the Garifuna nation. I represent people who are part of a nation that were here before Columbus, and those people were here.
That's right. Wow. Flavia, do you have any questions for Queen Labapo? Wow, powerful.
Yeah, today is the start of our new segment of the Real Stuff podcast, the Indigenous Outlook.
Wonderful.
And it is very fitting that we have the powerful Vice President of the Garifuna Nation, Cynthia Ellis, to help us kick it off. And this platform is set up in the light of the indigenous people of the world.
Right.
And as saying that came from a leader of the Maroons, a past leader, Colonel Frank Lumsden, whose whole aim and his whole life was geared towards creating a borderless indigenous community for the whole world. So we will be engaging all indigenous people on this segment. The Maroons, the Tainos, the American Indians, the Canadian Indians, the Aborigines in Australia, everywhere that they are.
Wonderful.
And bring them together, because we need unity. We need to come together to share our individual experiences. And I've been spoken to Queen Lubafu for so many times, and so on the show and otherwise, we know that she'll bring a very powerful start to this, I think, very important segment that we are launching out today.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sabufa, if you can, say something about that for us.
Sure, I would be happy to. Thank you. It's very historic and it's very important. And congratulations on your anniversary because these are the platforms that are important for sharing in the world. And then we're going to realize I have my friend, she likes to say that she's a world citizen. And we are world citizens in that the more we begin to speak the truth and learn more about one another, then it makes us really face a lot of the challenges in a different way. It is a beautiful thing to have this segment for Indigenous people because it is new, and people have like an aha moment. It's like I can't begin to describe to you what my experience has been here in the United States so far. When I open my mouth and I tell people that I am Garifuna, and I describe to them what that means, they are like just blown away, and it's like they get into a zone, like almost repeating to themselves, never enslaved, like when the African American people hear it, it's like it's a concept they tell me that they never thought was possible because they have been pressed down for so many years with a different sense of identity. If they had not traveled and left the United States to go to countries like ours, they would never have known. And so one of my sisters who hosted me in Montgomery, she was saying to me, well, we were not taught that in school. And she said, well, they made sure that they kept that information from us. And I said to her, let us stop talking from the they and speak from the we and speak from the I, where we take responsibility for our present, our past, and our future. We have the choice to decide how we're going to interpret our lives and change that story. And I said to them, when I tell them the Garifuna story, how we went through a lot of suffering. However, that's not the only way that we will tell the story. And even in my personal life, I learned from my children and friends to tell the story differently. Not to deny that we had pain and we had torture and we had abuse, but to shift the energy of that to say, but wait, you know what? I am here, we are here. Something in us that was so strong and so deep, that was so resilient, made us have the capacity to be here. And therefore, we are an inspiration for ourselves, for our children, and for other people to show that that was not the only side of the story. In the African American experience, you had a Harriet Tubman, you had a Surgeon of Truth, you had many, many people. And I went to this, they had this museum, this center where this is like so powerful, so beautiful. Some judges, some lawyers, some professional people within the community now, within the country, go all over the country and begin to identify the areas where the people suffered, and they consecrate it. They take soil from the areas where the suffering took place, and they put it in a big jar, and they put it in a monument with the names of the people and the dates of when it happened, so that there's a celebration of the life of that person and those persons, that it counts for something. And when they don't know the name, they put unknown, but they know the date. That is a powerful strategy, and that is the approach of Indigenous people, and that is the approach of the Garifuna, and that is the approach of many people here in the United States. That's why we sing, that's why we dance, that's why we dress the way we do, that's why we eat certain kind of food, and food is an opportunity for healing. Food and is festivity from the time, like say in the Garifuna experience, from production to processing, to preparation, to fellowship. I had we have a community in in Belize called in Hopkins, the first women's cooperative in Hopkins, in the country of Belize. And when this COVID is an example, of universality. Look at how we are talking now. Maybe we would not have been in communication had it not been for COVID, in that we will not be using the internet and the Wi-Fi as much as we do now. But anyway, when the COVID situation came up, the leader of the cooperative, which is it was like approaching more like for visitors and tourists, she was disappointed and concerned because of COVID. And I said to her, no, this is the time now we have to step up, what we can do, because they are looking forward to developing a museum. And now that I have come to visit this museum here in the United States, these museums, it gave me ideas of how we can do this living museum. But anyway, she was so depressed. I said, no. We are alive. We eat. We have our customs. We can do everything and share our information virtually. And so that is how we were able to shift the conversation. And this is what COVID is giving us, an opportunity to look at life in a more creative, productive, and innovative way. Look at our relationships from a space of creativity and innovativeness. That we are the ones we are in charge. We have been waiting. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And the shock of COVID allows us this opportunity to shift in the way we have been relating and treating one another.
That's right. Yeah.
So what you're offering is an opportunity to communicate, to educate. Could you imagine now the children were not going into the buildings called schools. So what that means is that the world became a classroom. You could do it virtually. You can have communication virtually. They were at home. They were homeschooling. They had to use internet. They had to do all kinds of innovative things. So similarly, the indigenous, as an indigenous way of being, we believe in communicating by spirit. People will say it's intuition. People will say telepathy, whatever the words. But it is an extraordinary way of connecting. Sometimes I say it's a coconut wireless we use.
The world has joined that.
Yep. The world is wide. The world is wider, or maybe smaller, depending on how you want to look at it.
So, Queen Lubafu, where else your journey will be taking you after you leave? I know you're in the state of Florida now, so where else will your journey be taking you?
Well, it depends where the spirit of my ancestors will lead me, you see? And this is a wonderful question. And this is the way of, in your series, I'd like us to continue to explore, because, you see, before the Europeans came here, the indigenous people here knew they had this dream and this vision that white people with long blonde hair and blue eyes were going to be arriving on the mainland. What they did not know was the ferocity or the viciousness of the encounter would have been on them. Also, I mentioned that to say that I'm not here because I got up with any kind of plan and I wrote a project and applied and, to anybody. As you would have followed me over the months as I was in the different Garifuna communities, the Dabuya, which is the sacred space of the Garifuna people, you followed me, that I was there quietly listening for months, like having a baby. I'm about to deliver a baby now, okay? And the baby is myself, 9 months. This is a rebirthing. So while I was going through that, I got this call to come to the United States. It's a stirring in my spirit. And I had to shift my attitude from, I don't want to be in these people's country. I had to shift my attitude to listening deeply and saying, learning that there's a lot that I will have to learn. So I asked the Spirit, I asked God to direct me where I could go, where would I need to go. And then I didn't know that I was coming here. Once I decided I was going to come here to visit like a mini sabbatical, taking check to come see my friends, my family. So I thought, then I heard about the transition about my friend. So I didn't plan that. I did not plan to come for a funeral. I did not plan. You understand what I'm saying? And that is one way of responding to your question. My mother, the morning I was leaving to go to Dangriga, that's in the south of Belize, to visit. I was going to go on a radio show the night, actually. And before I arrived in Dangriga, I went to look for, before I left, I went to my mother for my blessing, right? My mother is 91 years young.
Yes, I saw
And
the pictures. I saw the pictures.
In the middle of the conversation, Mama said, "How is your friend?" I said, "Which friend, Ma? I have a lot of friends." She said, your friend. She said, "Billie Jean." I said, "Well, she's not well, but, she's going to be okay." By the time before I reached Dangriga, my friend had transitioned. So I'm just sharing that with you to show that there are things that you plan and you don't plan. There are things I plan and I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I didn't plan to be in Alabama. I didn't plan to come and bury my friend. In that time, so I arrived with an open mind and an open heart. And I met the mayor of Alabama and they hosted me. And I went to these different places. So moving forward, I didn't know I was going to be here in Tallahassee, Florida. Hello. So here I am. And so I have gotten a request from the Garifuna Nation. They are based in California, so I'll be going there. And I also got a request from the lady from the University of Santa Barbara. Remember, you know about the El Pilar Rainforest, the 2,500 acres that the people of Belize own.
Yes.
But I've doubled it to 5,000 now, according to the reference of this show, which is borderless relationships, right? Because we are according to the indigenous understanding, we cross borders. We don't have borders. So my cousins and my relatives are all over Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Salvador. All our people are there, down to the Caribbean countries, including Jamaica. So we are in a sacred space of the world. So this world, this journey has been defined for me, and I'm going to listen deeply. So when I go to California now, to Santa Barbara, I will be on a presentation on the 12th of May. And first they told me it would be the 14th. Now they tell me the 12th. But I don't worry about it. You know why? Because you have to be in readiness for anything. If anybody call me right now and say, let's go to the television station of Tallahassee, I will go because I have to be ready. We have to be ready. That's the indigenous way of being. So I'm going to hear the significance of this. This presentation in California is going to be about biology and looking at the indigenous knowledge and practice and knowledge of the plants. For Belize, imagine that. That will be a first in the conversation. But usually the researchers that leave from here, they don't look like me and you. Well, let me tell you, none of them I have ever met coming to Belize are black. Okay. They're all white. So this presentation I will give with the professor who comes from Santa Barbara University will be a big first. And I'm going to open my big mouth.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that you're ready and you don't have a set timetable. You're just moving according to how the spirit moving you. The same thing occurred because today wasn't geared directly. So we're going to have Queen Labafa because she's going to be in the United States. It just happened to be. You understand me? So that's how the power of the spirit moves. Yeah, it's not.
No accident will be.
No accident. It's just.
What is to be will be.
It was ordained. It was
divinely ordained. Take the words we're talking about. I don't have a request. There's a lady who did our management for Peter Touch and these kind of people. She wants me to San Diego she wants to promote Garifuna people, Garifuna culture. She wants a documentary. So it's an open possibility right now. There are people from Atlanta who want me to go there. There are people of the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma want me to. Well, I want to go because I want to go into the sweat lodge. You know what I'm saying? Then the lady who did the one who did the research for the land rights for the Garifuna people. She's in Colorado, Boulder, Colorado.
Okay.
Then you have the lady who did the vote, the rights, vote, Black Votes Matter. Campaign that made Biden and them win.
Wow. So you have a lot of base to touch, man. You have a lot of bases to touch.
It's going to be fine. That's what I have to do. We do what we have to do, right? Yeah, Grand Rising.
That's right. Claim it. I love it. I love it.
Maybe I'll find somebody who are married to me or something. No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. We heard it publicly. I don't sound like I advertise because I'm not. I don't have to advertise.
It already gone out. It's already
out there already.
It's already gone out.
I have to interview. I need somebody to interview candidates then. You have to. You see, and my friend is encouraging me because in life, especially based on what we've gone through, we need to laugh. We need to have fun. We need to take things too seriously, because tomorrow is not promised. Let's appreciate one another now. I have a friend, he's a storyteller, David Hunt. I'd like to introduce him to you. And he goes all over the world telling stories for purpose of healing, for purpose of transformation and laughter and to be joyful. And so we have to really, like you said, lighten up because so many devastating things have happened all over the world that this is a time that we need to really you want another glass of water, relax on the porch, just hang out and drink a glass of wine and just enjoy life. And it's not like a contract or an expectation or pressuring anybody to do or be anything, but just to really love one another.
My Angelo said, and still we rise.
And still we rise. Maya Angelou, right? And still we rise.
Right.
Yeah, so it's gonna be very exciting.
Yes. And you said this.
Shulohale Wadani, our time has come. Shulohale Wadani, our time has come.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you are too much, Falco.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true. It's our time now. As a people, we have to wake up. As you said earlier, COVID didn't just come because COVID won't come. We learned so many things during the COVID, and we have you have those who are in fear. Some people make 2 steps forward. There are people now who are not even afraid no more of COVID. If them catch it, catch it. Because
we use wisdom. My family used to be very worried about me because I was going all over the country, and I said I move with wisdom. And you see, like how I am here in the States, the way how I would be in the league. If you all remember, I would be right in the community and just be by the beach, I stay in one place and I go to the beach. You can't catch COVID in the water or in the sand or when I go fishing or whatever. I want to say something moving forward, though, in terms of the indigenous situation. One of the things that I'm learning is that not to get distracted by negativity. And that's one of the things I'd like to encourage us to focus on. And we're going to find that we have different personalities and nothing or no one is perfect. However, if I'd like to stay focused on our strength, our beauty, our love, our light, and hold on to that no matter what is going on. Like in unconditional love, it is like I like to anticipate the needs of others, to see how we can be there for one another in the midst of whatever. And particularly while I went to the Enslaved Museum, I realized one of the things that came to me very deep is that we have survived. It wasn't easy. However, now leadership, like myself, like ourselves, is called to transformation in a way that we're not going to deny the horrors and the nastiness that happen, but to find ways in which we could, I think I said detox or get rid of that or release that so that we can be more wholesome and healed. And that is one of the processes of the Garifuna Nation. We have a lot of challenges and we have spaces where we can cleanse, we can detox. The Daboyeba is such a place. And here is what I would like to propose, and this is what is coming to me strong. It's better that we be intentional about finding ways in which to deal with our situations, the good, the bad, and the ugly, from our perspective, than to hand over our people to these systems that don't care about us, don't understand us. And when I went to this Museum of the Enslaved, what these lawyers and these judges and these business people did was to make a correlation between what had been done, the assault of the people in that time, and how it continues to this time in terms of targeting young black boys for prison, right? From the time they are in the primary school, a colleague of mine had told me some time ago that prisons are being built based on the population of young black boys, right? And so rather than we have a responsibility not to stay paralyzed or throw our hands up in the air and say, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. They don't teach us in school. Yes, they don't. Well, let's teach ourselves. Let's share the information. That's why this program that you are doing is so powerful, because one of the things about the Garifuna, what I realized about my family is that a lot of school was at home. We sat at the feet of our grandparents, and we were debriefed. Whenever we went to the schools and you come home, they wanted to know what it is you learned in school. So moving forward, I would like, through this, I am very intentional now in terms of, so what if you say you have a PhD or you did a this or you are qualified in particular areas, but the people in your community are suffering, they're dying, the young black men, the young black boys are being buried alive in this country and all over the world. So this is one of the things I think that we can draw on indigenous knowledge, indigenous practice for ways so that we did it once, some years ago. A couple of young men were going to be incarcerated in Belize, right? And I went to the head of police and I said, give me those boys, give me those young men for a month, and I can show you how they could turn our lives around. And that's what we have to do. We have to be part of the conversation. So moving forward in November, so one of the sessions we had, I heard in Jamaica, they have a day for addressing the issues of men. We have to. So I declared, I talked to the president of the Garifuna Nation, let us have a day where we have a space for men and find out what's going on with men and be intentional in terms of the rites of passage. Not that we are going to compromise or acquiesce to some of the foolishness that some of these young boys do. However, let us be the ones to take responsibility and bring them into our space where we go through a process of what you call alternative justice, restorative justice, like what Nelson Mandela had done. So this is what is my spirit very strong now. So November, we are going to have that day. I hope we can collaborate with indigenous people around the world, or at least in the Americas. We're also going to focus on cassava festival, right? Because cassava is so symbolic of who we are as a Garifuna people, and especially women. If you remember last year, we had a women's conference in November.
Yes.
November in Belize is the month for the Garifuna people where we reenact our arrival to the shores of Belize, right? And we brought our food and so on. So we're zeroing in on the cassava festival, not so much in terms of cassava as a food by itself, but the symbolism and the power of the cassava. I was sharing it at a church, back-to-back Sundays, and the pastors were like, wow, they wanted the cassava. I brought cassava bread for them. I tell them cassava bread is like manna from heaven.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good.
That's a good one.
Queen, we know we could spend the whole day with you today and all the time that you've been on the show, on the program. And I'm happy that you're here. I just hope that we're going to talk more. I know that we're going to talk more.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk. You can't make me come here and then I don't meet you face to face. Physically. That will not work. That's right.
I'm going to figure out a way how we can meet. I'm going to figure out a way how we can meet.
That's possible. I think that's possible.
Yes.
Don't make clever with jealous first. We have to do it in secret.
Yes. Okay. I will figure out a way. I'll let you know.
Oh my goodness.
So before we get out of here, I'm just going to ask you, to just, leave us with some words of encouragement, in the spirit of the Garifuna.
Well, the thing in the spirit of the Garifuna, there's a lot of hope, and what I'd like to encourage you with is that everybody has a gift. Each person has a gift. And what I am called to do is to provoke that gift that you have already out of you, so that it's that not that I am better than you or you are better than me, but so that we can tap into the gifts and the treasures that we have, and out of that we develop an energy and a synergy that is already transforming the world. I want to thank you for this podcast, this program, this vision of giving the Indigenous people a space to be. And let's just move forward. I mean, it's already done,
True.
Tsunami, that's thank you, Garifuna.
Tsunami, yes. I remember it. You keep reminding me all the time. Tsunami. All right. So, you too, Queen Lubafo, and enjoy Florida as best as you can.
Yes, I will. Yes, soon come.
All right.
Pleasure meeting you. A pleasure.
Nice meeting you.
All right, Queen Lubafo. Walk safe, okay?
Color of my eyes, color of my skin. Black is my kin, I ain't apologizing. Color of my eyes, color of my skin. If black is the sin, I ain't apologizing. Color of my eyes, color of my skin. Black is my kin, I ain't apologizing. Color of my eyes, color of my skin. If black is the sin, I ain't apologizing. Captured us from our homeland, sold us into a foreign land.
Yes, indeed. That was Queen Lubafo, on her USA tour. And she's, kicking up a storm and, doing some wonderful things, enlightening, black people from all indigenous race. So Max Juanette, before we get out of here, could you just drop that daily inspiration?
Sure. Today's daily inspiration. The power of simplicity is that it cannot be ignored. Expand the simple breath into a deep resurging. Acknowledge the benefits as they unfold. This good day you create. Daily inspiration by Anne Marie.
Brand us like animals, they scored us mentally. Used us for entertainment and debauchery. Destroying the family. Let's fight the demons of slavery. Color of my eyes, color of my skin.
Okay, that was Tasha Williams, Black Skin. All right, Flavius, Max Juanette, we're here again. Flavius?
Yeah, I just want to close off by saying this is important news, I think. And it is subscribing. Some people want to subscribe but are having problems. Now, if you are using an Android phone, that is the Samsungs and the different ones, not the iPhone, Android phone, you are automatically logged into Google account. That links to the phone and the tablet. When you buy it, the Google thing is built into it because Google owns Android also. So as long as you are using a Android phone, you have a Google account automatically. So you can just go straight to YouTube and subscribe. You don't need to create any emails or anything like that because you automatically have a Google account on the phone. So you can just go in and subscribe. And remember to hit the bell. So when we do anything, which is 5 days a week, it will come straight into your inbox. And you can just click on it and you are with us.
All right. Sound good for Android users. Max Juanette.
I'd just like to say it's been a great, great, great show as always. And we have to remember that we are our brothers and sisters keepers. We're all in this thing called life together. We have to remember that. Namaste and one love. Click like and subscribe.
All right. I want to thank every one of you this morning for taking time out your busy schedule, especially Queen Lobafo, and for spending some time with us this morning. We ask that you continue to like, share, and spread it. The subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. As Flavius said, for Android user, you automatically can subscribe because it's Gmail, Google who control Android devices. Live and love every moment of your life. Be grateful for each new day. Cherish your family and friends. Bless others. Keep the faith. Never lose hope, and remember, prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. Must pray. Continue to pray. Big ups to everyone in the chat room this morning, from Courtney to Francine to Alette, Poetry Language, everyone, those who participated, those who didn't. Remember, spread the word that the Real Stuff podcast is here. And to take us out, we have Queen Lobafo to take us out with Our Father in the Garifuna language, and Tafina with Tekwe myself.
You lead us to Fula. You belong far away away. Ajuguala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Whoa. speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know say me if it go flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away me say. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize I will. Surely I leave where I is. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time, bless.
May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel I like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight. May I feel